In this video, I started out with $0, a lawnmower, and a truck, and now I have the challenge of building a profitable landscaping business from scratch. But there's a twist. I only have a year to do it. This is season 2, so will I make it big or will I go broke? Stay tuned to find out. And if you guys enjoy content like this and you want to see more, be sure to subscribe and drop on a like helps too. Anyway, let's go build a business. Well, we got ourselves an early morning out here at the landscaping business, and we have $1,000 in our account. So not looking too good on the finance end. So for those that remember, we bought this kind of old abandoned property and it needs a ton of work. Now, unfortunately, I can't do all of that work as far as a lot of the interior stuff goes and all that. So I'm getting a contractor over today to give me a quote on everything that needs to be done to the inside. However, we can do work on the outside. But before we get to any of that, I need to go make some money. Anyways, last episode, we got 3 loads of topsoil from a job and I listed it up and I sold 2 loads. And with transport, it comes out to about $1,000. Now, we just got to haul the loads into town, which is super easy. So we're going to get that done first. And then after that, we have 2 more jobs lined up, and then hopefully if there's time today I can actually go and work on the property. Hold up, gotta get the excavator out of the trailer first. Yeah, that looks about right. So to load this topsoil up, at least we have a skid steer. I don't have to do it with the excavator. Wouldn't be too bad loading it with the excavator, but it's just way easier with a bucket. Now I was looking at what it would cost to upgrade the skid steer to obviously a bigger model with a cab and all that. And if I want something older, probably around that 20 to 30 mark. And then if I want something newer, we're looking about that $80,000 to $100,000 mark. Now, of course, I have absolutely no business talking about an $80,000 to $100,000 skid steer right now with my current bank account, so that might be out of the cards for a little bit. Oh shoot, I should probably close the back of this trailer. I don't want to have the dirt flying out. Anyways, at some point this year, we do have to start thinking about snow removal equipment if I do want to have something to do over the winter. Because other than that, there's not a whole lot of ways I can make money. All right, there's one full load. Just made it into town here and completely blew through a stop sign. I gotta look at my directions, figure out where we're delivering this to exactly. Okay, I think this is the spot. I'll go knock at the door and double check before I dump it. All right, just got the okay. Let's get this out of the trailer. 1 load down, 1 to go. So a lot of you were suggesting in the last video that I keep the house I just bought and kind of move everything there and sell this place. Well, unfortunately, that place, well, it does have technically a bigger house, and when it's all renovated, it will be nicer. I don't have the space there to store all the equipment and everything, so I think at the moment we're just gonna have to stick with this place. I mean, hey, I like this place. It's got a shop. It's got more than enough room for now. I think we're all right. Although I am tearing up my lawn a bit doing this. Just pulling up here for load number 2. After I unload this, I gotta go run in, grab my check, then cash that at the bank, and then it's on to the next job. Went ahead, cashed my check, got $1,000, but then I spent 100 on a little bit of gravel, and this is for the next job we're doing. All right, back at the compound here, I'm just gonna unhook the dump trailer because we're not gonna need it right at this second. Grab our flatbed trailer here, and we're gonna need a few things here. We need to grab the roller, the skid steer, and the mower. Okay, that should be all we need. So we're actually just headed literally right down the road to our neighbor's place. We've mowed his place a time or two now, but he needs the property mowed again, and then he wants a little fire pit area put in. So that's what the gravel's for, but I do need to flatten out a little spot with the skid steer, so we're gonna have to do that as well. I'm kind of parked in the ditch here because I don't want to park exactly where we're going to be mowing, so this should work. Oh boy, it's a little sketchy. So mowing this yard is pretty dang simple. There's really not much to it. He just lets it get way too long and then it's a bit harder to mow, but other than that, it's fine. And then he requested this time that we take it right back to the fence line, or I guess to the ditch. I mean, technically, I don't think this is his property, but oh well. I don't think a farmer will care if a little chunk of his is mowed or not. Then we're also just going to go along here and clean up the bushes. The old Skag mower can take care of it, no problem. So since the customer this time around requested that we really try getting to the tree line and cut up all the smaller bushes and stuff right around there, we did, and it looks a lot better, although it is an extra charge on the customer's part because it kind of puts more wear and tear and stress on our equipment, cutting up those big bushes and that, so it does come at an extra charge, but it does make a property look a lot better. Usually our rule of thumb is if it doesn't look like it's been mowed before or should be mowed, probably don't mow it. But if we can get in there and make things look a little bit better, it's worth it. Can just barely squeeze through here with the 0 turn, but it does fit perfectly. So the front of the yard's all finished. I'm just working on the last bits on the back. Then we can get in here and build that fire pit area. Dang, this is one good looking backyard. Anyways, I think this is where we're going to be putting the fire pit area, is kind of right in here. I just got to get in here with the skid steer, flatten it out a little bit, and we should be able to put the gravel in. So long as I don't tip, we're going to be fine. We're fine.
I'm just gonna grade a little spot here. It shouldn't take much. It's pretty flat, but I just want to make sure it's a little bit better. Okay, that should about do it. Got to get the roller over there for when we get the gravel down. Quick swap out of the trailers, and I'm just gonna dump this right here. There, that's more than enough gravel. Doesn't look like much, but once you spread it out, it starts looking a lot better. There we go, lay it out real nice. We're putting it on pretty thin because it really doesn't need too much. Not like this is getting driven on all the time. Got to clean up the edges a bit, spread it a bit too far on accident. Okay, that should be about perfect. Now we're just on here with the roller. You'd think I could just make it nice and flat with the skid steer, and yeah, I could, but I don't know. I feel like this is a little more precise. And the skid steer just chews up the flat pad more than anything, so we're just doing it this way. Okay, all finished up here. Got everything loaded up. Just got to collect my paycheck, and we are out of here. And that is another $1,000 in the bank. Seems like not much work for $1,000, but we did have to mow the entire property and haul in the gravel and all that. You can charge a pretty steep price for landscaping, especially since there's only one other company in the area and they're kind of focused on bigger jobs, but occasionally they'll do some small jobs and they always seem to screw up on them. That's why I get called out. But eventually I want to get on the bigger jobs too and then hopefully run them out of business. All right, so I've loaded up the forks here and we're headed out to our next job, which is in town. Pretty simple job. Basically, the local cafe wants some trees cleaned out. They plan to make an addition to the restaurant, so we just gotta clear them out, load them up, and we get to sell them. So a little bit extra money there on top of getting paid from doing the job, which with the way our bank account's sitting right now, I could definitely use some extra money. All right, so this is the spot. Now, basically, they want to make an addition to the restaurant here just out this way. So they've kindly went ahead and marked all the trees they want cut down. This big one, this one, this one, all the little small ones in between here. Pretty much nothing past this tree going this way, but from here all over that way right to here. They don't want any of this mowed after all the trees are cleared out, so we're just here to clear the trees, which I will never complain because that is big money for us. I guess they kind of want it scraped down a bit, so we're gonna have to do that with the bucket, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Just gotta grab my forks here. Oh, hold on, I'm getting a call. Well, I just got off the phone with the contractor. For what I want done to the house, it's gonna cost $15,000 to $20,000. That's money I don't have right now, but hopefully after this job we get a little bit closer to that. But man, that was a little more expensive than I was thinking. But oh well, I guess we got to get it done. So I haven't went ahead and authorized the work just yet because I want to make sure I have the money ready to go. So for right now, we're just gonna have to wait until we get the money. Okay, so I've got all the small bushes cleaned out here. Now there's just these two trees. This one's actually decently small, so it shouldn't be too bad, but I'm gonna try to take care of this big one here first. These are always such a pain because they've got so many big branches to them, but well, I don't know if you can call these branches. More like other small trees attached to them. Well, here goes nothing. Timber. Not too bad. All right, now I just gotta cut this all up into manageable chunks and then hopefully I can get it on the trailer. This is gonna take a little while. So a little bit of work with the skid steer and a lot of work with the chainsaw, and this is what you get. Not too dang bad. Anyways, these smaller logs I'm gonna try load up. Actually, you know what? Never mind. I've still got one more tree to cut. So I'm gonna leave those smaller logs there, but I'm gonna try load up the bigger logs here and see if I can kind of fit them all in there in one shot. I think we should be able to. I don't know, we'll see. The good thing is this skid steer has a lot of weight on the back, so we can pick up a pretty decent amount. Like, look at that, with ease. Oh boy, fitting the other big chunks in here is gonna be a struggle. Oh yeah, because that's DOT approved. I mean, we're not going terribly far, so we'll roll with it for now. Hopefully the town sheriff isn't out. He might get a little mad at me if he sees this. We got a triple axle trailer though. Like, we should be able to handle this weight. The one on the back is literally the size of the truck cab. Actually, it's a bit bigger than that. I'm surprised that little skid steer can handle it though. Well, I know this is gonna be a lot of money. Oh yeah, 10 grand. 10,573 to be exact. Well, I don't know if we're gonna get enough to do those renovations, but we're sure gonna be close. I'm just gonna load these small pieces up here and then hopefully it all fits. It should though. And never mind, I was wrong. We got another full load on our hands here, so I'm gonna go take this in too. Then we'll get to the small tree. All right, how much are we getting for this? $4,318. Well, we're getting close. Okay, last tree. Let's get this chopped down here. This ain't gonna take much. It's a pretty small one. Timber. You know what? Looking at this in the trailer now, I definitely could have fit it on there. Dang it. Anyways, I'll go take that in after. I've just got to clean up a little bit of the brush and stuff for the skid steer, and then we should be done this job. I really need a grapple bucket or something, but I guess this will do the trick for now. Well, that, believe it or not, actually didn't take terribly long. I'd say we got this pretty much cleaned up as much as they're gonna want it cleaned up. I've just gotta go drop off this last little bit of wood, grab my paycheck, load up the skid steer, and then it's back to the compound. And we got another $452 for that, bringing us up to $18,270. And in the trailer you go. Got ourselves another $3,000 from that job, so we're clear over the $20,000 threshold. So I'm gonna say I'll give that contractor a call and we'll authorize the work on the property there. That way he can get started and hopefully we can move this property project along. Well, it's getting pretty late here in the day. I probably won't be able to make it out to the property today, but tomorrow we should have more than enough time to work on everything. So with the new day upon us, money in our bank account, and a completely clear schedule ahead for the day, it was time to go work on the new property. And after making it out there, I could see that the contractor was already there getting work done inside the house, but with the lawnmower now here, it was time to get down to business. And that business was this crazy overgrown lawn with lots of shrubs and bushes through it that was going to make it a bit of a challenge to mow. But we had an even bigger problem, the downed trees in the backyard. And my fix to this was tossing them over the fence to deal with them later. With the trees now out of the way, I could get to making this property look just a little bit better, which in its current state wouldn't take much to change the look of it drastically. And sure enough, with just a little bit of work with the zero turn in the front of the yard, and we had it looking much better. However, there were some places I couldn't get to with the zero turn because of its size, so I'd have to come back around with a push mower. So with the front and back of the property now mowed, I headed back to the compound to go grab some more equipment. However, when I returned, the contractor had some not so great news for me. You see, well, we had originally thought the roof was good on initial inspection. It turns out that it was not. So along with some underlying issues, it had to be replaced, which would be adding another $10,000 to my bill, bringing that up to around $30,000, which again is money I don't have. But luckily the roof could wait, so it was back to work on the property. And now that I had the push mower, I could actually get to work on some of the smaller areas. And with those areas now taken care of, I can move on to a more pressing matter, the trees. Now originally I didn't plan on cutting any down, just taking away the dead ones that had fallen over, but as I looked at this particular tree some more, I realized that it needed to come down. So down it went. And with a little bit of help from the skid steer, I was able to get all the trees loaded up into the dump trailer and sold for an additional $1,200. Also, with the trees now cleared away, I was able to get the outside of the fence, which made the property look so much better. Later the same day, I also managed to get the Chevy on all four wheels again. It wasn't running yet, but at least I could move it onto a trailer, which is what I did. With the truck now finally out of the way, I could at least mow the carport. After that, I went ahead and grabbed the dump trailer full of gravel, which costed me $500 so I could fix the driveway. Now, while I wouldn't be needing this entire dump trailer for the driveway, I did want a bit extra so I could build some sort of a patio or fire pit area in the backyard. And even with the bit left over in the trailer for the backyard, I still think I overdid it for the driveway by the time I get it all spread out. With the driveway now finished and looking a heck of a lot better, the contractor can now park his vehicle and trailer inside the house area so he can start getting some real work done. However, after mowing the lawn, I had noticed it was looking a little bit patchy, not enough to warrant ripping it up and reseeding it all, but at least adding a bit of seed and fertilizer on here to make it just look a little bit better. Now, luckily for me, I had all the seed and fertilizer along with the tools to do this, so it would be pretty easy. And hopefully, in just a few days, this will be looking a lot better. Okay, well, I think that's about all we can do at the moment here. The contractor just has to kind of do his work there. I guess I could start working on the patio area, but I want to make sure the house is finished first. The patio area will be like the last thing I worry about. I'm going to list a couple things up on Marketplace, like this water tank here. Don't really need it, so not really a point in having it. I'm also going to list the mini bike and the lawnmower, along with the other slip tank, which I already just bought one, so that kind of sucks, but oh well. The quad, I think I might keep. I don't know, I can see it coming in use for something. I'm not sure what. Worst case scenario, if I don't need it, I'll just sell it. And then the pickup truck, I got the wheel back on. Didn't take too much work, luckily. Everything else seems really good on it. I just probably need to put some fresh batteries, some fresh gas in it, because who knows how long that stuff's been sitting, so it probably needs some fresh stuff. Kind of just check it over. You're not going to go around? Is that good enough for you? I guess I am kind of standing in the road. Anyways, yeah, probably just check it over, make sure it's all good, and then hopefully put it up for sale. My issue at the moment is I need to come up with another $8,000 to make sure I can get this house done. So I got to do that. A little bit worried about that, but maybe with selling everything, I'll be able to. And by selling everything, I mean the extra stuff here. This truck's actually fairly low miles and it's in ridiculously good shape for what it is. So I was looking at kind of what they were worth. If this thing runs good, probably 8 to 12 grand. 12 grand's the really high end, but this thing has less than 100,000 miles, so probably closer to that 12 grand. I don't know. We'll see what we can get out of it. But if you guys have any suggestions for the property, let me know down in the comments section. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed. Subscribe and goodbye.